Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video. I'm going to talk about journalism and the death of journalism and Google contributing to the death of journalism. It's not just Google, it's AI in general. And we're going to talk about this because everybody who covers pop culture news is waiting for the other shoe to drop. Everybody who covers news in this space, especially if you work for a blog, is waiting for the other shoe to drop. And this year, man, the shoes have been dropping. Like, how many legs do these people have that the shoes have been dropping all over the place? We've seen lots of layoffs in pop culture journalism, lots of layoffs at video game blogs, especially lots of those blogs getting eaten up by other blogs, and eventually they'll probably get shut down. Or, transition into video. They'll pivot to video or pivot to podcast or pivot to something else. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about Google killing off the media biz. This is Hollywood. Hollywood saying that Google has killed Hollywood media. And then we're going to talk about Nvidia and how they have pulled ahead in AI. And that they've become the biggest company in the world. That's crazy. So the world's most valuable company is Nvidia. And if you bought Nvidia stock during the pandemic, my son did. He was smarter than I was. I think I had some Nvidia in an ETF or something, but he bought like straight up shares of Nvidia because he's like, yeah, I can't get graphics cards. We couldn't get a graphics card for a computer to save our lives. They were so damn expensive. Like just a basic graphics card GPU was like couple $1,000, I think, during the pandemic, and he wanted to play VR. He wanted to get Half-Life Alyx, and I know that we had a hard time getting a replacement card because the other card had been cooked. But yeah, so let's talk about all of this. We're going to talk about AI killing the Hollywood media. And Hollywood media kind of writing its own obituary. And this, it was inevitable. This was going to happen. I just don't think anybody thought it was going to happen this soon. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Check out the audio edition of Clownfish TV wherever you listen to podcasts. This is coming from Showbiz 411. Google killed the media biz. Friday layoffs, buyouts at Daily Beast to Hollywood Reporter. Wow. The Sun and Canada Media. This is just a couple days ago. Google and AI are doing as predicted, killing off the media business. Now, I said this was going to happen. People said, no, you're blowing things out of proportion. This is not going to happen. And that was like 6 months ago. And here we are. Everybody's getting laid off. But I think in some cases, it's kind of like the tech bubble bursting. I think in some cases, these media outlets, these companies are using the smoke screen of Google tossing a hand grenade into the ecosystem for journalism, right? For finding news. I think they're using that confusion to get rid of people that were problematic. I really do. I think that they're using that confusion to shut down blogs that are not profitable. That's my personal opinion on it. I'm like, some of these I know are making more money than they're letting on, but they're just like, oh, guys, golly gee, we just don't have the money to keep you on. Sorry, everybody. Sorry, loud blue-haired activists that we've been trying to get rid of for 3 years now, and we couldn't do it because every time we would even correct you, you'd run to Twitter. Sorry, now we can just get rid of you altogether. Now it's even worse for web traffic. That's true, which dropped like a stone over the last 3 months. This is 100% true. We've been covering this. Some sites have even seen their readership cut in half as Google and other search engines point to artificially created links. It's not just artificially created links. They're actually curating via AI. And what's going on is a lot of websites are getting cut, I think, unfairly. The pop culture sites are getting hit the hardest, right? We've talked about this. Yesterday, Penske Group's Hollywood Reporter let go of several staff, including longtime top TV editor Leslie Goldberg, editor-writer Rebecca Sun, who was laid off before and got rehired again. Penske owns the Hollywood Reporter, Variety, Deadline, Rolling Stone, and Billboard. So these are all the access media, shill media outlets. We know Rolling Stone barely talks about music anymore. They talk mostly about politics. Told these layoffs aren't the end. The Daily Beast has offered buyouts to 70% of its unionized staff. Again, union employees are very expensive. And a lot of times the gains that you make joining a union. This is my personal opinion. A lot of times the gains that you make joining a union are short-lived because it puts a target on you, and the first chance these companies get to get rid of the unionized employees, they take it. I've been in this situation before. I actually started out working at newspapers. Newspapers, remember those? Before transitioning to digital media. And I was the managing editor at one paper where the owner sold the company when the press workers decided to unionize because he's like, I can't afford to pay them what they want. So rather than deal with them, he actually sold the whole damn company, which I guess reset the situation, the terms of employment. And then the new owner decided he wasn't going to allow the union and hired all new people, I think, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he actually sold the company rather than deal with the union. And they'll do what they have to do to save money. Non-union staff is next, as former Hearst editor Joanna Coles and NBC News chief Ben Sherwood take the reins to save the Beast from closing. So the Daily Beast might shut down. Wow. Daily Beast buyout results are in. They're just about gutting the site. 25 or 70% of unionized staffers took buyouts, including nearly all the most senior journalists. Wow. Meanwhile, non-union editors expect to face a round of firings at the end of the month. Over at The Sun, there's buzz of more were sent packing. There's buzz of more. This is awkward. There's buzz of more were sent packing. According to SEM Rush, thesun.com lost 20 million visitors since February. I'm surprised considering Yahoo News just told me they're relying on tabloid news. Go figure. It depends on the site. Some of these sites, I'll be honest, they've been using black hat SEO tricks or gray hat SEO tricks to boost their rankings. They've been, covering material that they normally wouldn't cover. And it doesn't fit the vertical at all, but they're doing it to try to shore up views. But they actually have a lot of like hidden pages covering a bunch of garbage, that people are probably searching for, but it's not actual. They're not actual readers, right? They're not actually reading the articles. It's just SEO tricks, and it's not going to work anymore. In Canada, 35 media people were laid off by Global News. That's in addition to 11 who already got the axe this year. I do read snarky comments about these layoffs who think that media people getting cut is funny or that they deserve it. How stupid can people be? I don't know. People are pretty stupid. Is there really a desire for a fascist Oh God, is there really a desire for a fascist dictator, Donald Trump, and no free press? So this is just about technology marching on. Right? Technology always marches on. I think a lot of these people thought the reason that there is such a schadenfreude is that a lot of these people thought they were above getting laid off. They really did. They thought we're white collar workers. It's just the blue collar meatheads, the coal miners that get laid off. People like us, degreed professionals, vetted professionals. We will never get laid off. That's what they told us in college. We will never get laid off. And here we are. And a lot of these people are going to wind up working as like baristas or something. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have any other discernible job skills. I kind of got into it with people on Twitter the other day. I mean, not that that's, unusual for me, but I did. I was talking about AI and art, and people think that I'm actually all for it. And that's not the case. I don't know which videos you've been watching. I'm trying to warn people as an older dog, you are disposable. And complaining about it and ranting about it and holding your breath until you turn blue in the face isn't going to change the fact that technology is marching on. And you would be very wise to find something else to do in case you can't do your white collar job anymore. I'm being dead serious, because there's an ebb and flow to everyone's career, even mine. I've ebbed and flowed many times. And, I'm sure I will again before I finally retire or die or whatever, become a robot or whatever is ultimately going to happen to me. But you need to be prepared, because there is no security for white collar workers anymore. I don't care if you have a journalism degree. You don't have job security. I don't care if you've got an art degree from the best art school in the world. You don't have job security. And this is the new reality, and you're going to have to adapt. You're going to have to be like everybody else. And I think that's why people are laughing at journalists and laughing at creatives, because not everybody, but a lot of people working in those industries thought they were above it. They thought they were above being replaced. They thought that was only blue collar meatheads that got replaced. Coal miners were told to learn the code. Well, it doesn't matter because the machine can code better than you can now. So, what I'm saying, I mean, that's where this is coming from. And I'm not being facetious. I'm not, delighting in this. I'm not, what I'm saying? Because I've been there. I've actually been laid off a couple times in my career. It sucks, especially when you have to change careers because the industry you're in is collapsing. But I'm telling you, as a friend or a frenemy, depends on how you view me. As a frenemy, I'm telling you, do not get too comfortable if you're working in digital journalism. Do not get too comfortable if you're working as a grunt creative. There will always be positions for creatives. There will always be positions for talented writers. But if you are middle of the road, chances are very good you are replaceable. But it's always kind of been that way. It's just it's going to be a lot more obvious now. Anyway, that's all I want to say about that. So were education programs cut so deeply in the 80s that we have a generation of ignorance? Maybe. The more media shrinks, so do the opportunities to know what's going on in the world. Whether you like it or not, the media contracts, the more you should worry. I do agree with that, but the media has been controlled, from my perspective, by one ideology for at least a decade, probably closer to 15 years. In fact, we've seen multiple instances, I believe, of dissenting views being squashed, being purged from the internet. And now the machines are going to come in and just purge everybody. That's how it's going to work. And I'm not saying it's a good thing. Back to the headline. Google, Microsoft, Yahoo, etc. are the villains. And they're doing this all unchecked. I don't disagree with that. I think that these big corporations are taking control of the media landscape, and we're going to be living Blade Runner and possibly Cyberpunk pretty soon. I'm going to be honest. The government has yet to intervene for any kind of oversight or regulation. You wouldn't like it if they did. I don't think you would, because they would have, there would be a lot of complaining that they're not going far enough. We were warned about AI more than a year ago and no one took it seriously. Yeah, well, I do agree with that. I do agree, Roger Friedman, with you. I do agree. I actually told people that this is going to destroy jobs. People told me I was full of shit. I didn't know what I was talking about. I'm just a stupid YouTuber. Shut up. Know your role. I told people a year ago, wow, this thing is snowballing at an alarming rate. And pretty soon, if you're just regurgitating press releases, you will be easily replaced. I did not anticipate Google going all in on AI search, but what they're doing is they're basically keeping you on their page because they want to monetize you directly. They don't want to send you to an external site. They want to monetize you directly. Vanity Fair freaking out about it a couple weeks ago. If Google kills news media, who will feed the AI beast? I don't know. Journalists have been making shit up whole cloth for last couple of years now. I guess the AI could do it. I mean, it is scary. I'm not gonna lie. It's scary, and it's scary how good the AI has gotten at deepfake technology. It's good. It's scary at how good it's gotten at faking voices. I mean, we could theoretically have computers run amok that just make up shit, and create video footage and audio clips of things that never happened. That's what scares me. I mean, it's going to be like The Running Man, but worse. That was just kind of doctored footage. This could just be like, yeah, we're just going to whole cloth just create footage of people doing things they never did. And it's going to be misused by corporations and the government to frame people they don't like. Like, oh, well, look, we got a video of this guy killing this guy. There it is. It's video footage. It came from a security camera. Honest, that's where it came from. So we got to send him to prison. Yeah, I don't know. That's what scares me. But I don't trust the journalists that are getting laid off in entertainment media to tell me the truth about that. Those are not the journalists that really are going to matter, in my opinion. These are pop culture journalists, comic book writers, video game journalists, and we're seeing how they all kind of collude with each other anyway. So, I mean, I don't think that the world is in any danger if we have fewer pop culture journalists. And this is coming from a guy who bitches about video games and movies and comic books and shit all day. I mean, I know I could disappear tomorrow and a couple of people might be sad that we're not uploading anymore, but they would just move on to somebody else. I know my role in that regard, right? I know where we stand. So I'm going to wrap up with this. I think Nvidia has become the world's most valuable company. As AI rally steams ahead, again, you should have bought Nvidia stock during the pandemic. They said they've been vying with Apple and Microsoft for the top spot. The stock has rallied more than 160% so far this year. Nvidia's relentless rally has propelled the semiconductor giant's market cap over its mega cap tech peers, helping it clinch the title of the world's most valuable company as the artificial intelligence wave continues. Shares rose as much as 3.4% to about 3.3 trillion on Tuesday, catapulting it over Microsoft and Apple. The top stocks have jockeyed all month for the pole position, while Nvidia edging past its big tech peers. And it's so funny because only gamers really knew about Nvidia. Nerds and geeks knew about Nvidia a couple of years ago, and now because of AI, everybody wants these processors. It said the ranking is yet another reminder that AI is the top focus of many investors. Nvidia is seen as the biggest and earliest beneficiary of the technologies that dominates the market with its highly sought after chips that help power data centers running complex computing tasks required by AI. Demand for its H100 accelerators are surging and help drive the chipmaker's sales up by more than 125% last year. Microsoft is also seen as an early AI winner given the investment and partnership with OpenAI, which created ChatGPT. Microsoft, which of course, I don't know where they're at with recall. They're going to embed recall into Windows 11, but now they're saying they're going to disable it, but then they're saying they're not going to disable. I don't know what's going on. But Chrome is actually going to be sending your AI search data to Google. Like everything is going to be run through AI. And that is kind of scary. I'm building up another machine right now, and I'm like, yeah, I think I'm just going to throw Linux on it. See how far I can go. And I told people to switch from Adobe to Affinity because Adobe with all the AI stuff and the snooping in your files. But now Affinity got purchased by Canva, and Canva's going all in on this stuff too. So I don't think we're going to be able to escape it, is what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I hate to be Debbie Downer. Short of a massive catastrophe that's sets us back decades or centuries, I don't think this technology is going anywhere anytime soon. So we believe over the next year, the race to 4 trillion market cap in tech will be front and center between Nvidia, Apple, and Microsoft. So Nvidia is one of the big players right now, which again, anybody trying to get a graphics card during the pandemic can tell you is very hard, because back then it was about NFTs. Everybody wanted graphics cards for NFTs and blockchain, and now it's AI. So there it is, guys. I don't know. It's not looking too good. If you're a journalist, again, I'm not being facetious. I'm not poking fun at you. I'm not laughing at you. I'm telling you, as a frenemy, keep your resume updated and find marketable skills outside of white-collar work, because you might need them. I'm being honest. You might hate the idea of being an Uber driver. You might hate the idea of being a lumberjack. You might hate the idea of being a plumber. But that might save your ass in a couple of years. So think about it. Think about it. Gonna wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.